Obviously, with Baylor coming to town, everyone knows what that means, and I think it's probably one of the best teams that Baylor's had. I know they won a national championship a few years ago with Brittany Griner and that crew, but this team they're putting up video game numbers, and it is what it is, and they're playing at a very high level, and our team we'll get 2 good days of practice in, and we'll show up Wednesday night and compete the best we can. But we understand what's in front of us, so we'll see what happens.
What were you guys doing down there defensively that allowed you guys to have so much success?
I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part of stopping transition. That's number one thing. Number two, you got to rebound. Obviously, they out-rebounded us a lot, but we did a decent job of not giving them a ton of second chance points. Kept people in front of us. Didn't foul a lot. I mean, just the basic stuff, but it's still one of those things where they do such a good job of running their stuff, and they're just so big. It's just they walked out of the tunnel, and I'm thinking about asking Steve if I can have Simeon or Cameron, or if they Solomon, if they need a little extra work, they can come over and practice, because that's about the same size as Baylor. So maybe Steve will agree to that. I haven't thought about that. I may ask him today, but it's just you just got to. They wear you down at some point. It's 13-12, and then next thing you know, it's 27-13, and that's how they play. And yesterday they're playing Oklahoma. They're down 20-15 at the end of the first quarter, and they win by 34. It's just their talent level and how hard they play is pretty impressive.
When you go about preparing for a team like that, how much of it is focusing on what they do in practice versus what you do to take care of yourself? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, you have to do. We focus probably more on us when we play Baylor, because we cannot simulate what they do. We can't simulate their size, their strength, their length. We just those people aren't in our building, like I said, unless they're on the men's side. So we have to really think about what are we going to do, how are we going to guard, how are you going to take care of the ball, the things that give you a chance. No live ball turnovers. Make the shots that are open. How you going to guard their inbounds plays. I mean, do the things that you always do, but you got to do it, at least for us. It's much more about what we do in this game than, okay, here's the plan for their players, because, they'll start, 2 All-Americans, and then the next 2 kids come off the bench, or, Lauren Cox is the #1 high school player in the country coming off the bench. And so you can't worry about personnel as much as you do what you can control, and that's what we'll try and do.
Is there anything unique or quirky you do this week? Because it's like you said, you can't simulate their size or anything.
No, not really. I wish we could think of something, but I think it's more you want to go into the game like this and understand that you want to play as hard as you can play always, but you want to stick your nose in there against the best, especially at home. You want your fans to see. Our fans are going to see one of the best teams in the country, obviously, but I want our fans to see our kids give the kind of effort that they need to give anyway. And that's what we do, and we'll focus on that, and then we'll just move on. They're doing it to everybody, but the thing that you have to do is, that's the great thing about sports, is it's a 40-minute game, and what I tell our kids, Tommy, is when the game ends, shortly after the end of the game, the scoreboard gets turned off, and people forget the score, but they don't forget your effort. They don't forget how you competed. Baylor can do a lot of things. They can't make you, not compete. Sorry for the bad grammar there, but that's the challenge for us, is just go compete and see what happens.